Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Resident Evil 4 with the Fan HD mod on it. We're about to take on the first, main boss of the area, which is, I guess, to say there are three main areas, and this is the first main boss. Noticeably, regardless of whether you went up or down here, which I went both ways, and turns out that is the actual solution, is to go both ways. And I, in the last episode, found an entire secret area I just have never seen before, and I don't know if the mod added back lost content or the remastered re-releases of this game from Capcom added that content at some point. But yeah, if you want to get all the jewels for the mask, you have to go both up and down to get those two treasures. But going down on this path means you're fighting an El Gigante. Going up means you're fighting two chainsaw ladies, which are no different than the chainsaw men, other than maybe the chainsaw men have bags over their heads and the chainsaw ladies just kind of have bandages on their heads. So it leaves you in a potential position where, if you're not playing perfectly, you would be low on bullets or just have trouble. And while the El Gigantes do have like a kind of limit to how much damage you can do before they move into the next phase, it's not a 100% limit. And honestly, I think, with the exception of the final boss in the entire game, most boss battles you can just defeat the boss with a rocket launcher, which is what I did with the El Gigante. And I have so much Posadas right now, so much gold, that I could just buy another rocket launcher. The problem would be squeezing it into this tiny setup. Plus, there's really no reason. I have 2 hand grenades, 2 incendiary grenades, and more than enough TMPs to take on this boss guy. This boss battle sets you up in such a way that you're not going to have to worry about Ashley, and I don't think anything even attacks you before you walk to this point. I'd be surprised if there's something I forgot. It locks you in this ambush cabin, and by being locked in the ambush cabin, we'll just have Ashley wait there. That's perfectly fine, I think. You're in this kind of small area, which would probably be a much bigger deal if there was zombies in here, or any more than just like one enemy in here.
You better stay outside. Ashley, go hide.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just tell her to go hide when you try to walk around the corner and you get in here and get in the fight. So this is probably one of the worst designed levels for a boss battle, in that you are fighting a fairly strong guy who's been able to really kick your butt this time before. And so he's just bending the metal. This is also the first point where you see the Los Plagas characters. I don't think I hit the dodge button fast enough there, so I may just straight up die here. But yeah, playing on normal probably doesn't explain that one as much, as I was just not expecting a quick time event. And for the remake of this game, I certainly can see a reason why you would want to get rid of these kind of in-cutscene quick time events, because it's just not something that people expect to run into nowadays. And it doesn't add much to the game, if anything, to the game, to actually... Yeah, she's just I guess, hides in that general area. You can't even really see it at this point. There isn't anything really there.
You better stay outside. Ashley, go hide.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't really add anything to have a dodge that can instant kill you, other than to have this S rank system that you don't even get told about really until the end of your first playthrough, and potentially lower the ranks on players by cheap kills. Which, yeah, if I'm going to try and get all the costumes and all the S-rank stuff here, I think a save file and a cheat probably is better. That is an interesting point to show that that dodge prompt that time was left and right trigger versus X and A, B.
Hasta luego.
That's the only trick, though. So Leon thinks that's going to kill him, and it doesn't. This is the first Lost Plagueis you see that is different. Yeah. And flame on. And grenade on. And I don't think there is any real knife thing you can do. As far as killing him. And now that he is kind of hovering up here, another grenade probably isn't going to help you much. He moves around enough here to not quite make sense. Alright, we're empty there. So let's go ahead and equip this guy. And see, this is just kind of like a great example of how this game locks you in rooms, and once you're in these rooms you really can't do too much. I'm not sure you can grab everything you want when you're when you're done with this fight, so probably somewhat benefits you to run around and grab everything now. There's a yellow herb, which we could really use. And we needed the eyeball to defeat the door lock mechanism. Yep, jump down here. Just look around and make sure we picked up everything. 30,000 gold. So had I taken a rocket launcher and just used a rocket launcher on her, there's a decent chance that would have just killed him. And then when you grab this eyeball, the burning building explodes and you jump out of it to escape. Which that is just like coincidence. I guess. You just have this weird coincidence instead of potentially having to leave. I guess you can get...
Are you okay, Leon?
You can just get the items. And Ashley seemingly doesn't even know what just happened there. So just because I am really overpowered with gold and upgrades and bullets, that was a fairly easy fight. That certainly could have been a more difficult fight, or I could have tried to pull some more tricks around it. There's no treasures in this area. But yeah, I could have tried to run up towards him and knifed him. I could have tried to use less TMP bullets. Arguably, if you didn't have a lot of TMP bullets, that would be a problem. Notice how the character just glitches there.
Is that all? Thank you. What are you buying?
We're still just not able to tune up or upgrade anything, so... Let's combine this with this, combine this with this, and save a little bit of space that way. And yeah, I don't think anybody tries to kill me at this point. If they do, I kind of don't remember it. They would have to decide to just like respawn, or they'd have to be hiding in an area. Yeah. I guess the question we should ask is there going to be anybody on a platform that tries to attack us, or anything like that? And I guess it's probably just worth it to reload. I won't reload the TMP, but I will reload the other guns. Like, arguably, it is weird that there's this experience, and this is just a cutscene. Alright. So yeah, nothing attacks you at that level, so all those reloads were wasteful. And then running back this way, I don't think anything attacks you. You just have full freedom. There might be a zombie in here to kind of surprise you if you were going to try and save, but nope. I thought there was a zombie in there, but obviously not. I wonder if some of these flames are resetting.
Welcome.
Because I've been knocking them out.
Come back.
You don't have any other upgrades. You're just not going to be able to upgrade anything until you get to the next area, which is where we're going. And I'll just go ahead and equip this. Although the thing here is you're going to have a truck that attacks you, and it doesn't give you really as much time as you would like. They addressed this in Resident Evil 5, where they didn't give you too much.
Follow me.
They give you really too much lead time to shoot through the windshield of a truck. Yeah. In a funny way, I don't think actually you need to shoot these characters at all. Come on, stay steady. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I don't think that there's any bird's nest or anything. But see, yeah, you step here, and then the truck starts to attack you. And you've got to do that. I get you 5,000 pesetas for doing that. And then we can take some more pesetas for doing that. And then there's just a bunch of zombies chasing you that you can hear in the background. And there's just not really a good reason to... Alright. Yeah. I don't think it's really worth trying to get the items. You may get a spinel or something. We've just got so much gold though that it's just not worth it. This guy straight up kills his own guys. Hey, there is some bullets here. One of the guys does take this, but this really is just supposed to be a chase sequence. Even though you really can't see them. Like, yeah. You're supposed to just run here. And then that triggers the cutscene. I imagine this group of mostly male characters now. I don't see a single female in this group. Which maybe means that's a pre-rendered cutscene that happened earlier.
You take that one.
Okay.
Yep. And this is one of the examples of where cooperation allows Leon to succeed, where otherwise he would have totally died.
Come on.
Yeah.
In a realistic story, this would have almost certainly led to safety, but it doesn't. Obviously, and it would be boring. You can see our hit ratio was not very good there. Maybe that's because I used a rocket launcher. And the number of enemies killed is actually not as many as you would think, considering we were trapped in that whole house killing a bunch of enemies. The numbers of deaths are sadly too high. And there's just no getting around that. Playing on normal is giving me a real challenge here, where otherwise I would have been more successful playing on easy, and then after playing on easy once. See, it looks like there's a room there. I don't know if there's a way to actually get into that room though. Yeah, after playing the game once, you then have all your weapons upgraded. Yeah. There's the implication of a room there, but nothing really. And you have this little house that doesn't really make a lot of sense to be in the courtyard. We are also less likely, if not completely unlikely, to run into a snake. Where'd that snake even go? There's a treasure here of gold. We run into more piles of gold going forward also. Snake should be around here somewhere. It should be something that it's fairly easy to see. It'll be a while before we get the treasure maps. I don't think we run into any more of the bird's nest going forward, because that would be kind of a waste of time. Is the snake... Did the snake just run all the way this way? I imagine the snake ran under this building. Can the snake attack me twice? I don't think it can. There it is. It is not worth it, though, to let the snake potentially hurt you. Chicken eggs still very valuable as items.
Welcome. Got some rare.
And so now our things are updated.
What are you
So,
buying?
more space for 40,000.
Thank you.
The treasure map for 6,000.
Thank you.
We now have a new blacktail gun for 24,000, which is a 9mm gun like all the other guns. So you have a selection of 4 different handguns in which you could have jumped around. The blacktail says it has superior handling and does start at 1.6, whereas my default handgun started at 1.0. I'm not sure if all of that really matters that much. We have a riot shotgun, which we could replace our regular shotgun with. And we have a semi-auto rifle, which we could replace our rifle with. We also have a mine thrower, which you just won't have room for. Rocket launcher. A stock for the Red 9. A scope for the semi-auto rifle. A scope for the mine thrower.
What
a lot
are
of
you
these
buying?
just don't make the most sense.
Is that all? Is that Thank you.
We probably don't need to upgrade the capacity
Is that all, strange? Is that
on
Thank
everything,
you.
but we definitely do want to upgrade the capacity
Is that
on the
Thank you.
TMP, but it won't let us do that.
Is that Thank you.
So yeah, despite having a lot of gold available to us, we are now
What are you
back
selling?
to being fairly weak. Our firing speed of our gun is 1.6. No, our firepower is 1.6. Our firing speed is 0.33. Reload is 0.87. Capacity is 16.
What are you buying?
Compare that to the starter levels on the Blacktail, and we're already, with our main handgun, better. Because we've just been investing over time. And
What are you selling?
obviously we don't have that much stuff.
Is that all? Thank you.
We could sell this for 10,000 if we didn't need it, but we need it. So I think
What
the
are you
strategy
buying?
here is mostly to stick with your first weapons and just level them up, because I think your first weapons leveled up do the most amount of damage for the least amount of bullets, and bullets will constantly be a problem until bullets stop becoming a problem in a New
What
Game
are you
Plus situation.
buying?
I don't have enough to increase the capacity on this, and don't have enough to increase the capacity on this, and don't have enough to increase the capacity on that, which puts us
Come back
in
anytime.
an interesting problem. This, the capacity wasn't able to be upgraded, so I might as well just reload that and get rid of that space. We've got a lot of handgun bullets. We might as well just reload everything. And we are now in a position where the things that want to be vertical can be more vertical, and the things that are going to get used less can be moved around more. It does make some sense that you would like to stack all of these bullets, maybe even stack them down at the bottom. But that's not kind of what you want, really. What you want is to get a nice organized layout of items, so you kind of know where everything is, so that when you come to this menu, it isn't a head scratcher as to where something is or not. So yeah, this is generally what you would want. That's enough room for a whole rocket launcher. That's enough room for a lot more stuff. We will get at least one more upgrade size on the attaché case. And we can now see where we're going, which you have to kind of zoom out quite a bit. It's a big map, the castle, with new enemies, stronger enemies, a little bit smarter enemies. And you are going to definitely seek out more of a challenge. Let's go ahead and save just because we organized our inventory. We still are very much ahead of the curve, so instead of struggling to upgrade one weapon, we'll be upgrading lots of weapons fairly easily. Feels like there would have been something here to see, or something that would attack you. The escort quest continues as far as Ashley is concerned. But I think I can just leave her. She doesn't tend to get grabbed as much. These characters, a lot of these characters have these weird like phrases that sounds like something that it's not. It sounds like to me that like they're saying "co-Hitler" or something along that line. That wouldn't even really make sense, though. These are basically cultists that are chanting. That one sounds like Ass Blaster. There may be just too much drift to hit that guy. No, I got it. There may be a little bit of a timing aspect in this first part, which they are slowly walking until they stop slowly walking. These guys have a lot of gold on them. These guys will grab Ashley, though, so you want to be somewhat careful. I believe there's something to this as far as a treasure. It's probably just a spindle, and it gets like blown up. Because this whole fight gets like really crazy once we take this turn. Yeah. Yep, there's a spindle there. This is a longer area designed for a sniper rifle, which, if you didn't have a sniper rifle, or any kind of rifle, you'd be in trouble. Although, the only reason you would not have a rifle is if you actively chose to get rid of it. Still just destroying these for no reason. Is there somebody in this room? We're gonna see more of these little crystals. So this cannon needs to be raised up to fire. There's nothing up here, no spindles or anything. Now is a great time to use this and increase my health. There really is no logical reason I think you'd ever want to not raise your health up. Now this guy has a... Oh shoot. Somebody got around me, and I guess I should probably just keep Ashley with me. Then it's not particularly that dangerous to have Ashley just following you. I think that took out the two people that I was aiming for. But there was another guy that we could take out. Arguably, there might be a couple of guys that we can take out if we can get the right angles on them. Is there any spindle or anything over here? Okay. Let's back up a little bit and see if we can get the angle. There's so much drift around this though. I need to basically wait for him to move into position. Yeah. See, that's the problem. Is I'm going to have to be fairly careful there.
Follow me. Wait.
Now, I don't think that was really a case
Follow me.
where the game just decided she was too far away and grabbed her. I think somebody actually did probably grab her. Keeping her fairly safe there is probably your best bet. We may be able... I don't think you can open this door. You're gonna need a lot of firepower, it says.
Follow me.
Right. And this guy has a helmet on him, so killing that guy yeah. Cheap kills. Cheap kills. Again, I would say this is probably cheaper kills than normal, in the sense that that if I was playing on easy, Ashley wouldn't take quite as much damage, or the game wouldn't let Ashley die. Oh man, the drift on this is so bad. And killing that one guy probably doesn't affect too much.
Wait.
This really highlights how also the experience around this is just not...
Follow me.
It's just not really the experience that you're going to have on the first time, and obviously they have this desire for you to have played and failed at the game a couple of times before you can actually succeed. It would be quite shocking, honestly, if somebody played this game perfectly on the first playthrough without any kind of walkthrough. And I guess this highlights where this is an older fashioned style of game in that way of thinking, because it is like totally emphasizing the idea of success through walkthrough, success for not through knowledge, no real success through other things. So I guess my question is, I leave Ashley where she is. Where did that other thing come from? Like, who is the person flinging?
Follow me. Wait.
I'm trying to figure out where the other guy is. I guess he's here. Or here. And you can see my sniper rifle is doing a large amount of damage here. Almost feels like the audio has stopped. Or the danger potentially has stopped. I'm gonna run this way and see if that is it. That is the case.
Follow me.
Definitely worth taking another
Wait.
herb. A gold bangle, I believe, is not an object that connects with anything. So we can probably sell that fairly quickly. And that was the collectible treasure. Let's also go ahead and combine this with, well, I don't even know which one I want to do, but I probably am better off doing that. Right. So we need to operate this turning crank, which I guess means
Follow me.
I can maybe have her hide in the safety of this area.
Wait.
We definitely are getting away from the general idea of just trash cans being the place Ashley goes. And you are just having to find places with cover. And so you fire the cannon, and that ends the danger music. So we'll take that as one. Now, particularly in this area, it doesn't make really any sense to try and run back to the shopkeeper. You'll run into the shopkeeper fairly frequently, like here, and he'll just magically appear. Honestly,
Welcome.
I would like to see the shopkeeper actually move
Got some
or
rare things on
admit
sale.
that he is like
What are
a
you
clone
buying?
or something. Let's see. Riot Gun would have new upgrades now. I guess the question
What are you selling?
to ask here is, we can sell
Is that
fennel,
all straight?
we can
Thank
sell
you.
2
Is
velvet
that all?
blues,
Thank you.
and then this gold bangle you can
Is
just
that
sell
all?
it. Like,
Thank you.
nothing works with that. And like selling handgun ammo or just a regular chicken egg compared to a golden chicken egg, which we haven't run into any golden chicken eggs.
What are you buying?
Wouldn't really make sense. Buying a broken butterfly, on the other hand, for a Magnum revolver, this is a gun that does a lot of damage, although it is still kind of fairly limited in bullets and doesn't do the maximum amount of damage like a rocket launcher. I think you get a broken butterfly for free if you do the right thing, so buying this now is not doable in the first place, but it is also just not something I think you'd really want to worry about. Waste 16 bullets or come back when you have no handgun bullets. It's not worth it. We should just upgrade that now. Waste potentially 10 bullets or come back later.
Is that all?
It's not worth it.
Thank you.
And waste.
Not enough cash.
Well, that's the thing I really should have upgraded, because that's the one that's probably not reloaded more than anything else.
Is that all, stranger? Thank you. Is that all, stranger?
Selling a couple of grenades is not a big deal.
What are you buying?
I don't think.
Is that all, stranger? Thank you. Come back any time.
So yeah, we could have perhaps gotten a few more bullets for the shotgun or anything like that. Noticeably, the TMP bullets are low. And we don't have but one incendiary grenade and one hand grenade, which is fine. We've got 2 full health kits to upgrade our health, which on normal we'll certainly run into reasons for that. We still need a decent amount of gold, though, to when they unlock the next level of upgrades.
We decided to lay low in the castle, but it looks like it was a
because
bad
I would
move.
like to get these
Well, it
the
appears
damage
that this
higher.
castle's also connected with the Los Illuminados. They must not get many visitors here, because they're giving me one hell of a welcome.
Sounds bad. I have an idea, Leon. I need you to...
What? Repeat, Hunnigan.
We never get to know her
Just my
idea.
luck.
And so they start blocking her signal. It's an old book here. It's weathered and it's illegible. Large amounts of gold. Let's see. I think the way this goes, you start to see some of these pictures, particularly in the HD remake, are going to look really good, I imagine. It is incredibly ambitious, certainly, to have had so many pictures and tapestries and things like that. Alright, now I'm in trouble. Just try and get her as much in the middle. You now have these new evolutions. This red-robed guy is a big character, so they may very well have respawned as long as I was not killing the red robe character. This is also a very narrow area to have a fight in. And yeah, the game is just really going to do more and more of that, where, particularly in the castle, it's just going to be narrow areas. And the HD remake is going to just make every single thing stand out very nicely. There's a lot of stuff in the room. You'd think maybe these weapons would be usable, but they're not. Right. Right. You don't combine the swords. You have to place them. And I suspect there might be something back behind this. Use the gold sword there. This is where we get into more of the gimmicky door locks too, which we really only saw one of those at the beginning of the game. You just can't interact with that, nor did that open up to reveal like any more gold.
Follow me.
Here you have some of the buckets and things from the village, and tables, but there's just a whole new collection of castle stuff. The one problem I will say that is problematic somewhat with this game is that when you get into the castle section, you're really not in a good space for using your handgun, even though it really is the handgun that's the thing you need to upgrade. Like you will just ideally want to try and use your shotgun more.
Leon!
Louis.
I've got something for you guys.
Louis comes back into the story to say basically nothing.
Oh, shit! I must have dropped it when I was running away from them.
Dropped what?
A drug that'll stop your convulsions. Look, I know you're carriers. You've been coughing up blood, right?
Have we?
Yeah.
And you.
I'm not sure I've seen the
Yes.
cutscenes of that
The
that
eggs have
much.
hatched. We don't have much time.
What are you talking about?
I have to go back and get it.
Let me come with you.
No, you stay here with Leon. He's better with the ladies, I'm sure.
It's almost as if the game is
Why
just
are you?
teasing
It
you.
makes me feel better. Let's just leave it at that.
And see, if there was a backstory element here, it would definitely imply that
Wait.
that character was I assume they're coming this way. The problem here too is you kind of have to get it fast. I don't know if slow single shots work so much. Come on. Fall to your death.
Lord, son.
And now we've got characters that really cannot defeat without a shotgun. And it's not really worth it to try and take them out any other way. This is weird in particular because this is just a room that it would feel like there would be like a boss fight happening here or something, but no. You have to go this far to get the key. And I guess Ashley is just fine. You would think one of them would have grabbed Ashley, but no. Your sniper rifle stops being any use here. That's kind of a great example of also where yeah, I don't think you can kill a character before its head pops up when it does the Las Plagas thing. Yeah, I don't think that you'd have to get fairly lucky there to convince them to run towards that explosive barrel. These are kind of characters that I think are better suited for TMP damage than it would seem. Just because it will stagger them as they're taking damage. And yes, I could increase my health, or I could risk it and die again. And bullets from the handgun are quickly disappearing in this whole setup. Probably wouldn't be a terrible idea just to use an egg.
Follow me.
Yep. So you have your character there. Do a little cutscene just to break things up, I guess, because it doesn't really lead to anything. And then we enter in an area here, which, yeah, I think you kind of quickly lose Ashley for a while. She gets kidnapped multiple times here. And the character that was the leader of the church was Sadler, and he is the main bad guy. And Salazar, I believe, is the character here. It almost comes off like maybe in Japanese they would have been joke names that would have been puns on each other. I don't think there's any spindles or anything up here. So you get this cutscene that seems really crammed in, and then you have a way more important cutscene just a couple minutes later.
Who are you?
Me llamo Ramon Salazar, the 8th Castellan of this magnificent architecture.
So you have these like insect right and left hands of Salazar on the sides. They're basically not humans at all, and never were humans, as far as I can tell.
If you care for your own well-being, I suggest you surrender yourself and simply...
The remake of this game changes Sadler's appearance quite a bit, making him look like a much older man, which is what he's supposed to look like, instead of
Got that right.
being kind of like a child. And it is weird that you would just talk to them and say nothing. Interesting also here, you can almost get that upskirt shot. Yeah, you can see just a bit, if you spin, of her underwear with the Resident Evil field of view tweaks enabled. Which inherently, that's what people... Oh, we've got a new purple gem. So we'll get another mask. That's what people in the West often complain about, and people in the East secretly love in video games. In all fairness, she is too young for Leon, but she is, I assume, 18. Like, just based on the dialogue that happens at the very end of the game. Really should just eat the egg. Well, you know what, just use one of these on myself. That's not a big deal. So, what happens is you can go forward, and I think the door locks on you. And then you have to go to the right to make it from that point, and we should just find the solution. Yeah, we get into really ridiculous points where you need to find 3 pieces of this creature to unlock it, and you can go maybe to the left or maybe to the right. Seems to me like you can't actually go to the left, and if anything, the left is actually just a shortcut that loops you back after you go to the right. Once you do unlock this, then you can go up to this balcony where he was, but you would have had to remember that to see that spot. So yeah, this is locked on the other side. And it gives the feeling, and this is probably in line with what Resident Evil 1 was like, where you're in a big house now, which, yeah, you kind of needed something like that. Because if the entirety of Resident Evil 4 was just in a village, and it was just this kind of open area that has an X pattern where you cross over, but you really can't go where you want to, or wouldn't go wherever you want to. This is much more of a house, mansion type feeling, where you will actually be in smaller areas. I am glad, certainly, that Resident Evil 4 doesn't have Resident Evil 1's terrible fixed camera angles, because that would be a nightmare. But, yeah. You still, even in this case, are very much going in a linear pattern. The doors that are unlocked to you are only unlocked to you at specific points, and very rarely will you have any opportunity to go back to a place, or where you have any need to go back to a place. You see merchants are practically at every point where there is a save point. So all you really have to do is move forward in the game. I wish the guns were better. Yeah. When this gun, if it gets fully upgraded and has a firepower of 2.0 or 2.5, that might be fairly useful, but still not useful enough on a lot of enemies. Ideally, I'd like it to be doing closer to 5 or 6 firepower like this shotgun. This does kind of highlight another issue, is where the shotgun doing 5 damage probably was doing 1-hit kills on most zombies, even now, so it being upgraded to 6 damage probably doesn't affect it much, unless it would need to go even higher, or you're just upgrading the damage for boss fights. We know that the 8.0 damage that is happening with the rifle here is getting 1-hit kills most of the time when you're shooting somebody in the chest or in the head. We will potentially get to a point where maybe shooting them in the chest is not quite enough at 8.0, and the amount of damage you do with a TMP will never be that high, but the firing speed affects that drastically and staggers the character, so that is the better move. And yeah, if I need more space, I certainly could just reload this TMP, but I'm going to leave it where it is. We'll need to use the TMP in future parts of this game, certainly, because there are different new enemies and different enemies, and the enemies stop becoming by default just human enemies, and we start to move more into a mix between human and non-human enemies, which that actually goes away when you get to the island, because then you're back to a whole new subset of enemies, but they were all human once, or at least they all seem like they were human once. Really, it is, I guess, just the fly-like creatures that seem like they were not human in the first place, even though they may have had some human DNA in them at some point, or some of them might have started off as human. Yep, and I guess there's just not a lot more to say. We're still making great progress. I still have very little critically to say about one of the best games to ever be made, which just really just highlights the problems with being a video game critic and playing good games, which unfortunately most of the games I play are mediocre at best, so there is a lot to say or point out. There are definitely some pacing issues. There is clearly cut content at some point where Lewis would have played a much bigger role, or his actions would have led to a third gameplay element that probably wouldn't have fit on a GameCube disc, because GameCube discs, I bet they held somewhere between 80 and 120 megabytes of space. But him as a character, as he is written, doesn't really work so far. It seems like you could have easily had Ada Wong replace Lewis in several places, and that would have worked just as well. Or you could have just handed a gun to Ashley and have her in the cabin defending the cabin, or you could have had the cabin scene where only Leon was defending Ashley in the cabin. Lewis never comes back in any future Resident Evil game, as far as I know, which is kind of weird, because you'd think he might show up in 8 or 7. Not so much in 7, but 8, it would make a lot of sense if he was mentioned or came back. But yeah, he just doesn't get utilized as a character that well. If anything, it might have even made some sense to mix the merchant and Lewis as one character, and then you could have given some characterization to the shopkeeper, and who is universally loved, and Lewis, who isn't particularly universally loved. it would explain the shopkeeper moving around a lot more and him having a whole bunch of guns. You could also certainly explain that he is maybe a mercenary and that's why he won't go along with the team that often, or that he's collecting guns and supplies, or that he was shot in the foot or something, so he would slow down the team. Yeah. Anyways, I guess I can just leave it at that. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.